got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. I got the string around my finger. Lucky me. Can't you see I'm in love? There's a song that I sing, I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. Lucky me. Can't you see I'm in love? Life's a beautiful thing as long as you hold the string. I'd be a silly so-and-so if I could ever let it go. I've got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life, I am in love.
Good morning, good afternoon, Staten Island, and welcome to the Al Lambert Show. Every show is always dedicated to the memory of my mom and dad, who actually lived about 4 blocks away. My dad in particular, who was one of the first pioneers of having a TV show here on Staten Island in the 80s and 90s. And the show is always about people who help people and live entertainment, and it has morphed into authors and producers and things, and it's been a terrific ride for about 10 years or more. And my special guest, I have a couple of guests today. My first special guest is Mr. Michael Pinto. Hello, Michael.
Al, this is a highlight of my professional career, being here with you right now.
You're going to interview me. Michael is quite the Renaissance man, and in my show, it's mostly conversational, and it will continue to be that. But Michael has so many aspects and so many things he does, so we're going to start talking a little bit about that. Michael, who's Michael Pinto?
You start out with a tough question. Well, I guess a Renaissance man, I don't know if I would describe myself in that way, but I'm a great supporter of the arts here on Staten Island.
That is true.
I am an attorney by day, a court attorney to the Honorable Bob Helbach over in civil court. I 10 years ago had this crazy idea during the first semester of law school to begin this idea to celebrate our high school theater programs. And 10 years later, that has culminated with a fantastic anniversary show of the Minty Awards.
It was amazing.
That we had, thank you.
That was amazing.
In August. And on top of that, I am proud to teach some classes at my alma mater, Wagner College. And I'm also a church organist at Our Lady Star of the Sea, and you could see me just around town, loving life, living it, and anytime I get to be with you is a tremendous honor.
Great. Anyway, so tell me a little bit about your desire to become a lawyer. My son is a lawyer, so I have a little interest in that. Was that a burning desire? Or
well, it's twofold. Mm-hmm. So first, my grandfather was a judge in Brooklyn and on the appellate division, and then later finished his career here on Staten Island. So that in the background, that was always, in my mind, someone I looked up to, who I aspired to be. And then in the first grade, I got a 5-minute time out, and at 2:55 in the afternoon. So my teacher, who I love, and I'll see her occasionally, but she had to give it to me to literally get it right before school ended. And she told my mother, I was not going to tell my mother about my time out, but she flagged my mother down in the parking lot and said, I just want you to know Michael got a 5-minute time out today. But the way he tried to argue out of it, he did such a good job that he's going to be a great lawyer one day.
Kidding.
So I actually saw her the day that I was sworn in and admitted to the bar. And I told her, 15 some odd years later, your prediction came right.
Isn't that something? And that's sometimes how it begins, like the song goes. Jesus. And where'd you go to law school?
I went to St. John's, made the drive out to Queens every day for 3 years. So that was a lot of fun on the belt. And passed the bar, worked for a number of years at a mid-sized firm in Manhattan doing insurance coverage work. And then I had this yearning, because I was so invested in the community here on Staten Island, through either, my church, like I said, or through the Minties, or just being involved in other events. I wanted to bring my profession to Staten Island. So I got a job at a firm here at the beginning or mid 2018, worked at that firm for about a year and a half, and then got the call to join Judge Hellbach, which I've happily been now with almost 2 years. And he is a great judge, a great mentor, great person to learn from and to work with.
Comes from a great family.
Yes, yes.
Absolutely does. He's a good guy.
And enjoying my career right now.
Now, the Minties, how did that come about? It was
So I've been involved in high school theater since I've been in high school.
Such a great idea. I just want you to know. It was a
Thank
great
you.
idea.
And I did the shows at St. Joseph by the Sea. I actually met my wife when we were doing Grease freshman year of high school. Contrary to popular belief, I was not Danny Zuko. I was actually male dancer number 5. I came out of the tires, rolling them during Grease Lightning. That was my job to collect them as they came off the stage. And but that was where my friends were. That's what I loved doing.
Right.
That's where I was able to be myself and not worry about anything. So I did the shows at Sea, and then later on, I started doing community theater. And then while I was at Wagner College, my friend Tanya Glassman was directing up at Notre Dame. And so she said, we're doing Annie, and we didn't get any boys to audition. I need you to come be Daddy Warbucks. I said, I'm a junior in college. I'm not, but the idea said, well, this will actually be my first real high school lead. It doesn't matter that I'm in college.
Take it.
But yes, so I went to Notre Dame. I helped her with Annie. I then assistant directed her with her next year when they did Babes in Arms,
Right.
and then assistant directed down at Farrell when they did Anything Goes in 2010. And it was just, C being co-ed, I didn't have the experience of meeting people from other schools and getting
Right.
that real camaraderie experience as great as it was at C. But doing the shows at Notre Dame and at Farrell, seeing the guys come to the girls' schools and the girls come to the guys' schools, and just
Right.
the friendships and the families that were formed, I said, this is really powerful, more than I realized at the time in high school. So now Tanya is directing at Villa in the fall of 2010, and she just casually mentions that her friend is in charge of or takes part in the Freddie Awards, which are for the high schools down in Lehigh Valley, and an award show that they have to honor the performances. So I said, well, you know what? We need something like that here on Staten Island. So out of that, the Minty Awards was born, and we started in that 2010-2011 school year with 5 schools, Hill, Villa, Peters, Farrell, and C, and we had it at Snug Harbor. And I still remember, and I always talk about thinking that, okay, it was going to be one and done. It was, we had our fun, never thought it would grow into what it is.
Right.
But I remember going to that first ceremony and being backstage, and when Joe O'Malley, who's a good friend of mine, he won the first award that night, and the entire auditorium in the music hall just erupted. And it was, he went to see, but he did the shows at Villa, he knew the guys from Farrell, and it was just the community coming together to celebrate their own. It wasn't one school won.
Hooked you.
It was, yes. And I said, I remember being backstage and I said, boy, this is something special, and this may become something. And still never thought that it would become what it is now. I was honored to have you attend this in August.
I should have been there more often. You can't all the time, but I'm glad I did.
Our 10th anniversary
great.
celebration in August, where unfortunately due to COVID, we couldn't do our traditional ceremony giving away awards to the actors and actresses, but we got to recreate some of the fantastic performances over the last 10 years.
And they were great.
And I had about 60, 70 alumni, plus the current students. And to see the span of theater in that room, and the joy, and just people coming together and reliving memories and reconnecting with friends and forming relationships, it's just incredibly special.
Wonderful night,
And I'm also very proud that over the last 10 years, we've been able to donate over $100,000 back to our school's performing arts program.
Isn't that amazing? And Donna, Donna and Wayne, my dear buddies, and I didn't know Donna was getting an award that night, and there I was in that position to be there. It was just amazing.
Neither did she.
Neither did she.
Yeah.
There you go. I was also impressed. I'm a big live music fan, obviously, and with the live orchestra. And then you had some of the people that were good at or did do directing of orchestras direct the orchestra.
Yes.
You walked out, they took over.
Yes.
It was very impressive, showing the breadth of talent,
Yeah, and I've always insisted we're going to have a live orchestra, and it started with just keyboard and drums, and now we've grown to having a 10-piece band, and these guys are just fantastic. I had one that, regularly plays on Broadway, always comes to do this, and just guys that have been in the community for decades. But they get the music 2 days before, and you know how it is. They pick it up, they read it, and it's absolutely fantastic. And that, I think, I miss the most, because I did a lot of musical directing for shows at Snug Harbor and St. George within the Wings. And not being able to conduct a band for the last year and a half with COVID. And when I did that downbeat with them and the music swelled, this is why we do it. This is all the aggravation, the headache.
Absolutely, the blood streams.
Yes.
Your story regarding how you felt when you first did the first Minty Award was very similar to when I started the South Shore Rotary Chorus. It was about 23 years ago. And I told Rotary, I can put you in the music business as long as you don't break my onions, because you don't know anything about it. So if you're going to start telling me what to do, I'm not doing it. But if you want to make a few dollars and give that money to charity, then you just leave me alone. So they had a quick meeting, the board of directors, go for it. And I put that chorus together, and then it went from 20 to 60 people at one point. And then I had, after the first show, obviously, I did another show, and it was 21 years. And after I had got it up to 60 people, I almost couldn't handle it anymore, because it was a full-time job. But I had brought the actors and actresses from Staten Island into the show because I knew I needed some support. I was never like you. You were weaned in the directing and the acting, and me, I was a lounge singer. So I had to morph to it. But similar situation where the thrill of all of a sudden, one time we had 125 people on stage.
Wow. The
late, wonderful Jennifer Sternari, if it wasn't for her, she was with me every show, Jennifer, and I loved her to death. And I wouldn't do a show without her, and she would change her schedules to help me, and I knew that if Jennifer was backstage, I could have 300 people and everything was going to be in order. She was just amazing. Anyway, when you produce a show, money is, of course, how do you do that? Is it a not-for-profit now?
We are a not-for-profit, the
Okay.
Minty Organization for the Performing Arts. And we have, each January, we hold our fundraising gala that is at the Hilton. And we honor, that's our chance. I always say in June, it's about the students, our current generation.
Right.
And in January, it's about the past
Good.
and supporting towards the future. So that's
Great.
where we honor our educators, our distinguished
Beautiful.
alum, community leaders.
That's beautiful.
And we also started a Monsignor Ansaldi Memorial Prize after our beloved late chaplain, where we also recognize some students that have morphed their Catholic education and their drive and passion for the arts together.
The arts. Interesting.
So that's our main fundraiser throughout the year, and we always get a tremendous turnout, through sponsorships, journal ads.
Right. Sure, that you do the same thing we all do. I just wasn't sure how you did that. Monsignor Ansaldi, when my daughter was in Hill for a year, and then she wanted not to be in Hill. It was not made for her. And she said, Daddy, I really, it's not made for me. I said, I'm good. So I said, we'll try St. Joseph by the Sea. So I called up Monsignor Ansaldi, and he said, come and see me. I went to see him 7 o'clock in the morning or 6:30 in the morning before school, like I'm in his office. And he said, all right, bring her in. He brought her in, and he was very, very cool about it. And she, of course, wound up transferring to St. Joseph by the Sea. And he said, look, I want you to know, Laura, I know St. Joseph Hill is a good school. He says, but this is a good school, too. You're not coming into a school, it's not easier. He was very emphatic, and he said, but we would be very happy to have you. And he handled it so beautifully, and bingo, all went well. She spent the next 3 years there and graduated C. And sometimes I got mad that she wouldn't do some of the things, because when she was a kid, she did the shows with Jennifer and all the civic theater stuff. So what's the future hold? What you're feeling about them? I'm talking music, that kind of thing.
Well, I'm hoping this year we can do as most a traditional season as possible. I know all the schools are preparing to do their shows as normal. Maybe some masks or limited social distancing involved. But hope that we could get a full season under our belt, have our gala in January, and look to our next decade. But we've also, last few years, done cabarets at Lorenzo's, at the Hilton, that have been great successes. So would look into hoping to do one of those this year.
Yeah.
And we've also done some workshops for our students because let's face it, out of the well over 10 years, close to 1,000 students that have come through the Minties.
It's amazing.
90% of them do not continue this professionally.
Of course.
They are lawyers, they are doctors, educators, nurses, all different professions. The few that have gone on, and we have alumni that are in Hamilton right now, that'll be in Mrs. Doubtfire.
That's great.
And they are tremendous. But what we've tried to do is those that want to continue on in college and beyond, create educational workshops for those students. So to have audition classes, how to prepare for that college audition, and master classes that we've had from Broadway professionals come in, different educators to lead the way. Because I think it's so important about not only taking care of your students when they're in high school, but also making sure they have the keys for success when they graduate.
Right, give them a little guide, And your musical talent, you're playing the piano, you're singing, you're a natural comedy. I think comedy is natural. You got to be born with that. But the whole idea, where did you take lessons? Did you start in grammar, private?
I had the great privilege of being taught in elementary school by the legendary accordionist, Mr. Frank Busso.
Oh, Frank! I can't believe it.
And so first grade, and this, he would have, former president of the American Accordion Association, he would wheel down his accordion through the halls of Our Lady Star of the Sea. And I said, I want to play the accordion. So he offered a free, week introductory accordion lesson. I did it. I said, I don't want to play accordion anymore. So then I waited till 5th grade, and then I said, I want to go play the piano. So I went back to him and learned piano through high school, and then I took piano up at Wagner College. And
that's where you developed your skills, because you read well. Now, Frank's mom and dad were friends with my mom and dad.
It's the circles just keep getting smaller and smaller.
We all came from Mariners Harbor. I always call it God's country. And they lived on Bush Avenue. We lived on Harbor Road. But my mom and dad and his mom and dad all went to St. Michael's together, the church that was everybody in and out of St. Michael's. So I know Frank since I'm a young guy, and that's many years ago. And I had, Frank was in the wedding band business too. He did it all the time, and I remember using him for different things, And we've been friends a heck of a long time. He was living on Highland Boulevard. Is he still teaching?
He moved a few years ago down to Virginia, where his kids are.
Okay, I wasn't sure.
Yeah, and he picked up with the Busso Trio down in Alexandria.
So he's still doing it?
Yes.
Oh, my God. Well, up on Castleton Avenue, there were two. Well, actually, on the North Shore, there were three. There was Frank Busso, the Parator, Pete Parator, and one other guy, and his name's slipping my mind right now, but Tony Etor. And they all played accordion. And a lot of the keyboard players who were my age, baby boomers, all were taught accordion first. And then, like you say, morphed into piano. A lot of it happened on the North Shore. Even my Paul Fiorino, he's been the bass player in my band 49 years. I've had like 38 people in my band in my 60 years. And who stays 15 years, who stays 18 years and comes back. But a lot of moving parts. But Paul, 49 years, and he started out as an accordion player. And he loved that, the bass line. And he picked up the bass, and once he saw it, boom, boom, he was a bass player, and mostly rock. So the accordion was a great tool on Staten Island, So that kind of worked not only for you but a lot of other people. I want to thank you for doing that Father Capodanno thing too.
Well, that was a great service, and all you do to keep his legacy alive and the cause going.
The cause is amazing. I always get a little upset because I think the Catholic Church should be moving a little quicker. But then again, maybe they are. Maybe they're moving quicker than I know. You can't, when you're related or you're so deep into it, you just want it to happen. But it's just, that's not the way it's going to be. But they just actually verified a miracle. The diocese, of West Palm Beach, Florida, actually said or verified what they considered to be a miracle, sent it over to the Vatican, and that is now being looked at the
wonderful.
Vatican. Okay, now that would be the first real miracle. I know there are 5 or 6 others on the desks over there at the Vatican. I found that out through back and forth information.
You got the Pope's number on your phone. Who are we kidding? He calls you when he needs help.
Cool. But we're working on it. Anyway, so bottom line is certain people don't believe in miracles. I kind of do believe in miracles. And we're hoping that if this gets verified at the Vatican also, because that's where it has to happen, even though they verified it, then he moves up to the next level, so to speak. So teaching at Wagner, we're going to talk about that in a minute. I'm a Wagner graduate, as you know.
It is the best place in my mind. I was so involved as a student there. They spoil you there because they take care of you so well. In the real world, they'll eat you alive. So I always tell my students, appreciate and enjoy what these next 4 years are all about.
Right, because it's going to be a little different. Well, 2 things. One is I actually, about maybe 6 times a year, get invited to speak at college in classes, college class, and I enjoy it a lot. Most of the time in business, and I give them the business, automobiles, which is my. But I also had a gift shop. I had an insurance company. I built 15 houses. I have been an entrepreneur of sorts all my life, and then of course in the music business. But that's what I like to do: talk a little bit about business and all, and then say, look, you guys want the real world, or you want me to just go on and talk about textbook business things? And then I get into the real nitty gritty about it, So I'm actually St. John's Thursday morning, I'm supposed to be there to do
I teach criminal justice, so I don't know if you want to come teach my class.
I may scare them. But it's so funny. I have 3 criminal lawyers on Staten Island, 3 of the biggest. I don't want to mention names, but they're all my dear friends. Only because we grew up together, and that's the beauty of Staten Island.
And you have them on retainer still,
I have
I'm sure.
on retainer in case of emergency. But anyway, getting back to it, that was my alma mater, as you know. And what do you see? Do you see new talent?
I do, and I think the students, especially after the last year and a half, they're just so excited to be back on campus, learning and becoming engaged. And that is one thing that I just always loved about Wagner. And really, I credit my involvement in the community really to Wagner, because their push for civic engagement, how they mold you to be from freshmen, from your first week, future community leaders. There is really a good crop of students out there that want to do good in the world, that want to learn, that want to succeed, and make it a better place than they found it.
See so many of the bad things that reach media. The good things don't always reach media because it doesn't sell. So that's why I wanted people who help people. You have a not-for-profit. You're out there helping the students. You're helping them formulate their careers and celebrating the arts and so many things. People who help people. So I wanted to make this show about positive things. But we do worry occasionally, but there's so many good things going on. So many people like yourself and so many great young people out there doing the right thing. They don't make the news. We only have a little bit of time, but I used to say that if the media for 1 week, television, newspapers, everything, decided to put the nicest and greatest things people do as headlines, and on the front page and the 3rd page and the 4th page, and then the worst part of humanity on the 20th page, and same thing with prime time, put it at 3 o'clock in the morning until 11 o'clock. In a week, you would see a significant difference in the way people say hello to each other and relate to each other. Because indirectly, we're selling negativity. It's very sad. If they just turned it the other way, we could influence positively.
I think that's absolutely right. And just quickly to go off, you mentioned Jennifer Straneri, and she and Phil were at the last Minty Awards in 2019. And she sent me a message after saying, I was so excited to be there because it brought back such a joy and all those great memories of working with high school students. And you don't understand, people that aren't involved in it, that these are just such, besides being so talented, they're such great students, and not disparaging any other students, but when you're doing theater, they're also at the top of their class academically.
That's amazing.
They are staying up till 10, 11 o'clock, making sure the sets are built, making sure their lines are memorized.
Loyalty, the heart.
Yes, you're depending on each other. There's trust that is developed at such an early age that really it molds them to be successes in whatever field they choose.
I agree with you. Anyway, Mike, it's been a pleasure.
Always a pleasure, Al. Thank you for all you do.
I want to thank you for coming and taking your time and being here. My next guest, as I mentioned before, is the lovely Janice Friedman.
Oh, thank you, Al. How are you,
You are the best. She has graced the Al Lambert show several times, and it's just a pleasure to have her and her talent. She brings her talent with her in this keyboard that we share. Want to do some stuff?
Yeah, let's do.
Okay. Want to try Hey There first?
Let's do.
Sammy Davis Jr. and Rosie Clooney. Hey there, you with the stars in your eyes. Love never made a fool of you. You used to be so wise. Hey there, you on that high-flying cloud. Though they may throw a crumb to you, you'd think someday she'll come your way. Better forget her with her nose in the air. She has you dancing on a string, break it and she won't care. Won't you take this advice I hand you like a brother? Or are you not seeing things too clear? Are you too much in love to him? Is it all going in one ear and out the other?
Al, that was beautiful.
With the stars in your eyes, love never made a fool of you. You used to be so wise. Hey there, you on that high-flying cloud. Although they may throw a crumb to you, you'd think someday she'd come your way. You'd better forget her with her nose in the air. She has you dancing on a string, break it and she won't care. Won't you take this advice I hand you like a brother? Or are you not seeing things too clear? Are you too much in love to hear? Is it all going in one ear and out the other, and out the other, and out the other? Oh yeah, yeah. Got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. Lucky me, can't you see I'm in love?
Can't you see I'm in love?
There's a song that I sing, I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. Lucky me, can't you see I'm in love? Life's a beautiful thing, as long as I hold the string. I'd be a silly so-and-so if I could ever let it go. Got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world, what a life. I'm in love.
You are. Nothing like being in love.
Sitting on a rainbow, got the string around my finger. Lucky me, can't you see I'm in love? There's a song that I sing, I can make the rain go anytime I move my finger. Lucky me, can't you see I'm in love? Life's a beautiful thing, as long as I hold the string. I'd be a silly so-and-so if I could ever let it go. Got the world on a string, sitting on a rainbow. Got the string around my finger. What a world! Man, this is the life. Hey now, I'm so in love.
Under stars that are chilled by the winter, under the August moon burning above, you be so nice, you be paradise to come home to and love. So nice to come home to, you be so nice by the fire, while the breeze on high sings a lullaby. You be all that I desire, under the stars that are chilled by the winter, under the August moon burning above. So nice, paradise to come home to and love. Zoo-ya-doo-da-da-ba-doo-da-da, zoo-bop-da-doo-da-da-da. Ba-ba-ba-da-ba-ya, zoo-da-ba-ba-da. so nice by the fire, while the breeze on high sings a lullaby. You'll be all that I desire, under the stars that are chilled by the winter, under the August moon burning above. You'll be so, so nice, paradise to come home to. I'd like to dedicate that to my hubby.
Beautiful.
Because he's a sweetheart.
I've never been in love before. I thought my heart was safe. I thought I knew the score. I've never been in love before. Now all at once it's you forevermore. But this is why I'm all too stressed and torn. I am full of foolish scorn, but now my heart is torn. So please forgive this helpless haze I'm in. I've really never been in love before.
I've never been in love before. Now all at once it's you forevermore. I've never been in love before. Thought my heart was safe. Thought I knew the score. This is wine that's oh so strange and strong. I'm filled with foolish song, and out my song was poured. Please forgive this helpless haze I'm in. I really never been in love, never been in love before.
I've never been in love before. Thought my heart was safe. Thought I knew the score. I've never been in love before. Now all at once it's you forevermore. But this is wine that's all too strange and strong. I am full of foolish song, and now my song must pour. So please forgive this helpless haze I'm in. I've really never been in love before.
I'm going to start up my my show. I did a show on Facebook 54 weeks in a row. It was called Over the Hump. We were all trying to get over the hump.
It's true. Very true.
So I'm going to start up something else.
Good.
I'm not sure what.
Good. They can find that on, how do they find that?
At on Facebook at Janice Friedman Music, or on YouTube.
Good.
Yeah, thank you.
And I also have the Vinnie Ruggieri Jazz Festival coming up on October 25th, which is also a fundraiser for the Universal Temple for the Arts.
Fantastic.
And the she was loaded with friends and love. Saja Ladner, who
Right.
was she was the Universal Temple on the Arts. She passed away while I was planning this, and she's an angel. So we're going to have the festival, raise the money because her daughter's taking it over, and we'll be memorializing Saja that night too.
Nice. She was a beautiful
Oh
person.
my God, she was just amazing. So that's October 25th at the Hilton Lobby Lounge.
Nice.
Okay, so I want the world to come.
You know, I teach Vinny's niece.
Really?
Am I allowed to say her name? She's a sweetheart. Her name's Faith.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
You're
I met her
right.
actually at one of
At the event.
Yeah.
Oh my God, that's beautiful. I'm
Yeah,
so
she's
glad.
wonderful.
Good.
I love teaching. Okay.
What do you want to do?
Should we go as Quiet Nights, Quiet?
Yes, let's do that.
Corcovado?
Yeah, Corcovado. Yeah. Turning my head around.
Quiet nights and quiet stars, quiet chords from my guitars, floating on the silence that surrounds us. Quiet walks and quiet streams, quiet talks and quiet dreams, and the window that looks out on the mountains and the sea, how lovely. Here's where I long to be, here with you so close to me, until the silent flicker of life's ember. I, who was lost and lonely, feeling that life is only a bitter tragic joke, has found with you the meaning of existence, oh my love. Quiet stars, quiet chords from my guitar, floating on the silence that surrounds us. Quiet walks by quiet streams, quiet talks and quiet dreams, and the window that looks out on the mountains and the sea, how lovely is where I long to be, here with you so close to me, until the final flicker of life's ember. I who was lost and lonely, believing life was only a bitter tragic joke, I found with you the meaning of existence, oh my love, oh my love, oh my love, oh my love. What kind of fool am I who never fell in love? It seems that I'm the only one that I have been thinking of. What kind of man is this? An empty shell, a lonely cell in which an empty heart must dwell. What kind of lips are these that lied with every kiss, that whispered empty words of love, that left me alone like this? Why can't I fall in love like any other man? And maybe then I'll know what kind of fool I am. I'm the only one that I have been thinking of. What kind of man is this? An empty shell, a lonely cell in which an empty heart must dwell. What kind of lips are these that lied with every kiss, that whispered empty words of love, that left me alone like this? Why can't I fall in love like any other man? And maybe then I'll know what kind of fool I am. Stop the world, I want to get off.
Oh my goodness.
Sometimes those changes, they just take me away. It's like crazy. There's no excuse, but
I love the way you sing, Al.
Oh, thank you. I love the way you play. It's just astounding. So challenging.
Well, we got to push ourselves
I know.
a little bit, right?
You're right. Absolutely
It keeps
correct.
it fresh.
It keeps it fresh.
All right, here we go. Did you say I've got a lot to learn? Well, don't think I'm trying not to learn, since this is the perfect spot to learn. Teach me tonight, starting with the ABC of it, right down to the XYZ of it. Help me solve the mystery of it. teach me tonight. The sky's a blackboard high above you, and if a shooting star should go by, I'll use that star to write I love you 1,000 times across the sky. One thing isn't very clear, my love, should the teacher stand? Sonia, my love, graduation's almost here, my love. Teach me. Come on.
Come on.
Come on.
Great tune.
The sky's a blackboard high above you, and if a shooting star should go by, I'll use that star to write I love you 1,000 times across the sky. One thing isn't very clear, my love, should the teacher stand so near, my love, graduation's almost here, my love. Teach me tonight.
Janice Friedman, my God, beautiful.
East of the sun and west of the moon, we'll build a dream house of love, dear, near to the sun and the day, near to the moon at night. We'll live in a lovely way, dear, living on love and fair moonlight, just you and I, forever and a day. Love will not die, we'll keep it that way. Up among the stars we'll find a harmony of life to a lovely tune. East of the sun and west of the moon, dear. East of the sun and west, west, west of the moon. and west of the moon. We'll build a dream house of of love, dear. Near to the sun in the day, crazy moon at night. We'll live in a lovely way, dear. Living on love and pale moonlight, just you and I, forever and a day. Love will not die, we'll keep it that way. Up among the stars we'll find the harmony of life to a lovely tune. East of the sun and west of the moon, dear. East of the sun and west of the moon.
Watch for Janice. Catch her on Facebook. Catch her on all the hottest jazz clubs in New York.
Janice Friedman Music.
What is it?
Janice Friedman Music.
There you go. And don't forget the Vinnie Ruggieri Jazz Fest, October 25th.
I've grown accustomed to your face. It really makes the day begin. I've grown accustomed to the tune you sing both night and noon. Your smiles, your frowns, your ups, your downs are second nature to me now. Like breathing out and breathing in. You were extremely independent and content before we met. Surely I can always be that way again, and yet I've grown accustomed to your voice. That's something in the air. Accustomed to your face.
Thanks for listening to the Al Lambert Show. Go to bed, it's late, and we'll see you again another time. And thanks to the crew here at CTV and Rosemarie.
You'd be so nice to come home to, so nice by the fire, while the breeze on high sings a lullaby. You'd be all that I desire, under stars that are chilled by the winter, under the August moon burning above. You'd be so nice, you'd be paradise to come home to and love. So nice to come home to, you'd be so nice by the fire, while the breeze on high sings a lullaby. You'd be all that I desire, under the stars that are chilled by the winter, under the August moon burning above. So nice, paradise to come home to and love. So you do da da ba do da da, zoop up da do da da da, ba do ba do da. To come home to, so